Picture this. This is year 2035. A robotic explorer hovers near a skyscraper-sized rock, an asteroid. Just one wrong move, and the spacecraft drifts away, lost in space. But if it attaches successfully, it could tap into metals in water worth billions or even trillions of dollars. This isn't just a story. In 2023, NASA brought samples back from asteroid Bennu to the Earth using the OSIRIS-REx mission, proving that we could actually land on the asteroid, collect those samples and bring it back to the Earth. Welcome to the future of asteroid mining. So, why should we care about mining a bunch of space rocks? Firstly, on Earth we are using resources at a very fast pace, and certain metals such as nickel and platinum are very important for building electronics as well as clean energy tech. And we all need to know that all these resources are actually not infinite. Plus, sending something to space is actually super expensive. It costs to about $10,000 for just 1 kilogram. But imagine if we didn't have to take water and minerals from the Earth. What if we could just scoop it up in the space? This could not only save a massive amount of money but also protect the Earth from the impacts of heavy mining. Also, certain asteroids may contain water which could be split up into hydrogen and oxygen, which could be used as rocket fuel. I remember visiting a space museum as a kid and looking at a piece of meteorite. That chunk of rock would have traveled through the whole solar system before actually reaching to the Earth. And that amazes me to the matter of fact that what if we didn't have to wait to bring them to Earth? What if we could go to them instead? Scientists like Gerard K. O'Neill and John S. Lewis shared the same amazement. In 1970s and 1990s, they proposed that asteroids and the moon could provide enough resources for the entire space colonies. So NASA did all the feasible studies, and guess what they found out? They found out that there are thousands of asteroids which are even easier to reach than landing on the moon. Pretty wild, right? So I had a question. How does one come to know that which asteroid to actually mine? So for this, we need to have the information of asteroids. So there are basically three major types of asteroids. The first type is the C type, that is carbonaceous asteroids. About 75% of the asteroids are C type. They often have water and carbon-based molecules. The second type of asteroids are stony asteroids, or the S type, which are made up of rocky silicates mixed with some metals. And the third type of asteroids are the metallic ones, or the M types, primarily made up of iron and nickel, and sometimes even precious metals such as platinum. So if you are looking for metals, M type is your target. But if you are looking for just water, C type is a gold mine. NASA's Psyche mission, which was launched in 2023, targeted a pure metal asteroid, which is actually a M-type asteroid, which is said to be worth more than the entire global economy. Now you might say me that there are hundreds of M-type asteroids. How would one figure out that which asteroid actually has the good stuff? So for that, we use certain techniques. The first technique is spectroscopy. See, different materials reflect or absorb different colors, or I must say wavelengths of light. By checking these patterns, scientists could get clues about what is inside that asteroid. The second technique is infrared surveys. Missions like NASA's NEOWISE measures the heat asteroids give off, helping us figure out that what is the size and the composition of the asteroid. And lastly, we also have radar imaging. Places like Goldstone in California bounces radar signals of the asteroids. The ECO can help reveal the shape, spin, and also tell if the asteroid is actually super metallic or not. Also, landing on an asteroid isn't like landing on moon. It is not that simpler. It can even spin, or it can have a very low gravity, or some of it can even be just a pile of debris like Bennu. So what spacecrafts do is that they use harpoons or small threshers or even claws that gently bind to the asteroid so that they don't bounce it off. NASA's OSIRIS-REx actually showed that how tricky it actually can be, because it took approximately 4 years of planning to just get 250 grams of material from the asteroid Bennu. Companies like Planetary Resources actually pitched an idea of using small robots to take out the water from the asteroids that can be then and there converted into fuel for the rockets. So what can we expect in next few years? In next 5 to 10 years, we'll see more such scouting missions. And if everything goes well, we might see small-scale commercial mining on the asteroids, especially for transferring or for the transportation of water and minerals to the space stations and lunar bases. Experts predict that space industry might top by $1 trillion till 2040, and asteroid mining would be a huge chunk of that. But here's the big question. Is space mining ethically correct? In 1967, an outer space treaty said that no one can actually own a celestial body. But certain places like US and Luxembourg in 2015 and 2017 actually gave the access that if you extract some resources, you can own it. So I just want to ask you, is that fair entrepreneurship? Plus, I strongly believe that messing with an asteroid path is actually really risky, because a certain amount of deflection can lead to an accident with Earth. Thinking about the worst case scenario. So the study of asteroids should be done before actually cracking them open. But the potential is still there. Each mission teaches us that how to approach these space rocks. I think that we are in really early stages. What do you think? If we discovered an asteroid worth $10 trillion tomorrow, will it solve the global resource problem, or will it cause total chaos in the market? Let me know in the comments. So this was all about this video. Do let me know that what do you think about the same. Thanks for watching. We'll meet you in the next video with another optimistic science and tech story. Till then, bye bye.